Okay, now before this video starts, I'm going to do a little criteria rundown for the weapons on this list. And the first thing I want to make clear real quick is this is not about the arcane weapons, okay? This is just about how well the weapon can proc bleed. Throw arcane, throw all that shit out the window. What we're focusing on is how well is it going to make an enemy bleed. And just like the other lists, this one might be a little biased, a little self-biased, but that's about it. I don't want to ramble on for too long, so we're just going to get right into it, okay? I hope you enjoy and I hope you can agree with the list a little bit. Okay, so starting off at number 10, we got the Backhand Blade. Nice little DLC weapon. It's also a part of the new weapon category, Backhand Blades. It's kind of odd that the weapon is named after the weapon category, but moving on. This weapon, great weapon. You will have to infuse this with blood though. Does not start with blood. The charged attacks on this weapon, crazy for stance. And if you run by the enemy and do a quick light attack, you keep running and you just do like a little 360 and you hit them. Very good weapon. Very good weapon. It is a number 10, but I'm gonna be honest, all these 10 weapons could be number 1 on the right day, but it's a number 10. Okay, moving on. So for number 9, we got the Scavenger's Curved Sword. This weapon's grand. This weapon's iconic, okay? If you've seen any bleed builds, you've definitely seen this weapon at least once. This weapon does start off with the bleed affinity, but you can add more onto it to make it even better. Little recommendation though, if you do use this weapon, I do recommend using 2 of them, and I recommend using the Jump Attack Talisman. You should be using the Lord of Blood's Exaltation and the Varhe's White Mask, but those are just givens, okay? Those are just givens. Use that for all these weapons, okay? You're gonna be doing way more damage. But all around, these weapons pretty good. Solid number 9. So for the number 8 spot, we got a nice little katana. The longest katana in the game. It's got pretty good reach. It's got phenomenal reach. And since it is a katana, it does have that passive bleed. You don't have to put bleed on it. You can, to make it even stronger. Or you could put something else on it. But if you're going bleed, you might as well just put the bleed on it. Very good weapon. Best katana in the game. Best non-somber katana. Okay, let me just make that clear before I say that. Because that's moving on, okay? Good number 8. Okay, for the number 7 spot, we got Eleanor's Pole Blade. Pretty nice weapon. Nice little twin blade. If you prefer the twin blades. Just the same as a Scavenger Blade though, if you are running this. If you're in New Game 2, because you'll only be able to get one of these weapons. If you're able to run 2 of these weapons, do it. If not, try to run another twin blade. And obviously if you put the Jump Attack Talisman on, since you're doing jump attacks. Because when you do the jump attack with the serrated blade and this weapon, it does 4 slashes instead of just 2. Because you hit once when you go up and then you hit once when you go down. And if you're using 2 weapons, then it's 4 times. That's a lot of bleed potential. Either way though, great number 7. Great number 7. Moving on. Alright, for the number 6, we got the Great Stars. I'm pretty sure. Actually no, scratch that. I'm 100% sure that this was in my strength video. And it's making a comeback, okay? It's making a comeback. It's great for strength and it's great for bleed. This weapon's just a great weapon. What can I say? But this paired with the Craig Blade, it's going to give you crazy stance. And you can double up on the bleed on this weapon because it has that passive bleed. And then you can also add bleed to it. So you can make this weapon go crazy. Absolutely brain dead. And if you like the colossal weapons, here you go. You got one. Here's your weapon. Great number 6. Phenomenal number 6. I love this weapon. Alright, for the number 5, we got another DLC weapon. The Beast Claws. This is another weapon that is named after the weapon category that it is from. Considering that there's a new weapon category called the Beast Claws, and this weapon is called Beast Claw. How nice. But never mind that. The actual word that comes with it, if the enemy can get stunned a little bit, this weapon is crazy. I tried this against Milena, and oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If she just didn't do the waterfowl dance, easy claps. But every time she did that, it was over. Let's just say that. But this weapon hits fast, has crazy good charged attacks. But this weapon hits quick. It has nice charged attacks. It has nice attacks in general. The move patterns. It's a good weapon. I love this weapon. I don't know about the other Beast Claws, but this one in particular, this one's good. This one's real good. Any fist weapon is going to hit that bleed proc mad quick just because of how fast you can swing with it. But this is a great weapon, okay? Good number 5. Alright, for the number 4, we got another weapon that's making a comeback from the strength list. We got the Star Fists. Pretty decent weapon. I love this weapon. One of my favorite weapons in the whole game. This also paired with Craig Blade. It's going to give you good stance break. Crazy good stance break, so I highly suggest doing that. And this weapon, like a lot of the others, has that passive bleed, so you can add more bleed onto it, making it even better. And this is a fist weapon, so it's hitting a lot. It's hitting a lot, so it's going to be proccing that bleed a lot. It's a little smaller though, so you kind of have to be really close to the enemy. There might be a lot of times where you try to hit the enemy and it doesn't really connect, but you just make sure you're right next to the enemy. Just make sure you're right under his nuts. Alright, for the number 3. Now this is a lot of people probably think that this should be number 1, but in my opinion, the next 2 weapons are a little better. This weapon's a little overrated in my opinion. This weapon is hella overrated. But that doesn't go to say that it's not a good weapon, okay? It's a really good weapon. It's just not as good as I feel like people make it out to be. There's definitely a little biases just considering it's a katana, because katanas are very loved in this game. This is a good weapon. It's a great weapon. That's why it's number 3. It wouldn't be number 3 if it wasn't a good weapon. You got a really good Ash of War. You got the katana moveset, which is already brain dead as is. So it's a recipe for a pretty good weapon. Not better than the next 2 though. Okay? Number 3. That's all it gets. Moving on. Alright, so for number 2, we got the Blood Fiend's Arm. Okay, this is one of the new DLC weapons, and I don't know if anyone else uses this for the new DLC, but when this thing first came out, almost every single charged attack caused a bleed proc. So fighting Radahn with this thing was pretty easy. Let's just say that. Pretty easy. I mean, they kind of nerfed it so it doesn't really hit the bleed proc too much, but it still hits bleed proc pretty often. As you can see, on these guys, it's hitting it pretty quick. But like, if you're fighting normal bosses, it's not going to hit every single time like it used to. That was a little broken, I'm not going to lie. But it still hits like crazy. This thing, crazy good weapon. This weapon's cooked. But in my opinion, it's not number 1. It's not number 1. Moving on to that right now, okay? Okay, so for the number 1, I might get a little bit of hate for this, but the Reduvia is it's gotta be the Reduvia. It's such a good weapon. It's such a slept-on weapon. After the Blood Fiend's Arm got nerfed and everything, and I went to the DLC again for my second time, the Reduvia carried me so hard. It is unbelievable how hard this shit carried me. This weapon is so... I don't even remember it being this good. I don't know if they buffed it, or I just never used it enough, but goddamn, this weapon is cooked. The Ash of War, cooked. Absolutely brain dead. And like, just it being a dagger, and it having that crazy bleed potential on it, like, Ash of War aside, just the weapon alone, oh my gosh, it cuts enemies up. And it's a dagger, so like, you can get quick hits in, you can dodge, get quick hits in, dodge. You're living. You're winning. Fuck living. You're winning. Easy number 1. But that's gonna be it. Hope you guys don't hate me too much for this list. And if you guys enjoyed, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Trying to get to that 1K before the end of the year. Who knows if it's gonna happen though, you know? But I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, boys.